Thank you everyone for being here. I know that for most of you this is the first time you've been in this place, but I'm grateful, as the family of Maríasol is grateful, that you're here and we're together. This place is a sanctuary of presence, of connection. And it doesn't matter where you come from, who we are, where we've been. Here we're connecting through love, through relationship, through loss. We're here to fill up this room completely if there were rafters, it would be filled to the rafters with our love and respect and compassion. So as I know the family is grateful that you're all here. I think that for many of you, a Buddhist ceremony might seem foreign. It certainly may be different. But I'd like you to feel at home here. I'd like you to, in the spirit of connection, that we can connect with Maríasol and her family through our voices, through our thoughts and our compassion. So we have this somewhat formal ceremony, and feel comfortable. Ceremony is meant to bring us together and to feel together. And though the words may be different, the heart is the same throughout. So what we're going to start off with is a little bit of chanting. And what we're going to be chanting is this archetypal figure, Jijang Bosa. Jijang Bosa. And feel comfortable to feel anything. It's okay. We're supporting you with our chanting. This figure, Jijang Bosa, is a figure that accompanies those on a journey. On a journey through life and death, on a journey from who we are now to who we're going to be next. This is Jijang Bosa. So there are many names for Jijang Bosa, and you can, as we're chanting this name together, we can feel at one and connected in chanting this name. Let me get this. So we'll just do this for a few minutes, and I encourage you to chant loudly, even if you have no idea what's going on. Bring your whole heart into it and chant as loudly as you can. We'll get you started and you'll get the hang of it in a minute. Jijang Bosa, 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 Thank you, everyone, for doing this chanting. The next part of the ceremony is a little bit more formal, and you can follow along. I'll be reading from the program. The nature of the great wide consciousness, or we could say connection, is still and clear. It has no past or present. Round and bright, it has no birth and no death. All of you gathered here today, do you know the one pure and clear thing? Looking above and below, it is always still. Seeing and hearing, it is plain and clear. One who attains this can put an end to needless suffering. Where the light of compassion shines, the lotus flower blooms. Seeing with the eye of wisdom, all beings become Buddhas in an instant. With deep sincerity, we offer an invitation to all beings. Please come and listen. True nature is before thinking. The Dharma body has no form. Conditions and relationships appear and disappear, like reflections in a mirror. The effects of karma arise and decline like water bucket rising and falling in a well. We cannot understand this miraculously changing consciousness. When this illusion occurs, what can you do? We now sincerely invite Maríasol Gutiérrez Roberts to come before this altar. Guided by the great Buddha's noble light to receive these Dharma offerings. I'd like us to recite this poem all together. If you can look on, if you're missing a program, find someone who has it. It's called The Human Root. Coming empty-handed,
Going empty-handed, that is human. When you are born, where do you come from? When you die, where do you go? Life is like a floating cloud which appears. Death is like a floating cloud which disappears. The floating cloud itself originally does not exist. Life and death, coming and going, are also like that. But there is one thing which always remains clear. It is pure and clear, not depending on life and death. Then what is the one pure and clear thing?
I think that I would just go ahead and address that question for a minute. It is our love in this very moment that we can feel each other. And in that connection, Maríasol is here and never will disappear. Always, always. Here. Let's say all together, the next part. May all merit
accumulated through the ceremony be conveyed to all beings. May we find peace, realize infinite life, and together all become our one true nature.
So I know this is a little difficult, but we are here for you. We are here together. And I think maybe the most important part is to invite family to come up and say a few words, however you like, and be yourselves. This is for you. Who would like to? Nathan, would you like to?
I'm going to start off with a quote. The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long. This is a quote from the movie Blade Runner by Ridley Scott. Well, it is often attributed to Lao Tzu from the Tao Te Ching. It is probably inherited from some pre-existing folk wisdom, so it should have resonance to most people, I would suspect. My sister was very much into meaningful quotes at various points in her life, so I think it is appropriate to choose quotes to communicate our feelings for her. I chose this quote because I think it describes her very well. She was a light that shone very brightly in all of our lives, and I have heard other people describe her as a light in our lives as well. She shone with love and with strength and with will and with power. She impacted and delighted all the people who came into contact with her, and we all fell in love with her. She has impacted my life and shone for me since she was born. She first showed up as a curious addition to my life less than a month before I turned 2. When she was brought home, she was like a strange new creature that appeared up out of nowhere. A beautiful new package appeared in a crib, and this was the explanation for her current strange temporary absence that day. She had such gentle eyes that betrayed the special warmth of her character. I started calling her Beba, Spanish for baby, which was her name to me until sometime in college when I thought I should call her something more adult. Since then I called her sister. She soon became my best friend, which she has been ever since. She was a quiet little person that was always eager to play with me. I had grand narratives in mind for my games, and she was always patient enough to follow along with my bossy playstyle. Always loving and giving from the very beginning. Although I don't remember it specifically, I'm sure my parents must have talked to me at some point to make sure that I finally let her have a say in some of our games. Once she did start contributing to our games, you could see her strength and resolve in the characters she made in our games. My favorite is what I call the G.I. Joe voice. When her G.I. Joe characters or other action figures would make an exertion, they would make the sound "Huh!" as they jumped or ran or fought bad guys. I was delighted to find out that her girls have inherited that voice as well. And I've heard them making the "Huh!" sound when they were playing video games with me. Her characters in the games were always positive and willful as they barked orders to teammates or struggled against the enemies against all odds, always grunting, "Huh!" Looking back, I can't help but see that these personalities weren't so much an alter ego for the characters in the game, so much as they were reflections of the type of person she truly was. Outside of play, she was always selfless and loving. When we were young, our grandparents gifted us wooden combs from China with hand-painted dragons. My sister would ask to comb my hair, and then sit and comb my hair for a really long time. There was so much warmth and love in that interaction. Later, I came to find that I liked sliced strawberries with honey. I would ask my sister, "Can I have some strawberries, please, Beba?" And she would happily go and cut me some strawberries and put honey on them to bring to me. When we got a Nintendo, we would take turns playing video games, but somehow my turns were always much longer. She would wait so patiently for her turn while I played Zelda endlessly. A friend had recently asked about my favorite childhood memories with my sister. I found that when it came to playtime, I didn't necessarily have a lot of specific memories, or at least few that would translate to a story. But I found that good feelings were what immediately leapt to mind. My whole childhood was happy, warm, and fun because my sister was such a great playmate. We played with action figures or the dolls, and stuffed animals would go on an adventure. Or we would ride bikes and imagine we were having laser fights with invisible enemies. Or we would run the hose on a pile of dirt and make lakes and rivers in the mud. All of these memories make for the best childhood a brother could have with his loving and fun sister. I have specific memories such as the hair combing and the strawberries, which show how selfless and loving she was in doing things to make me happy. I tried to reciprocate also. When we got snow, I would put some mini snowmen in a tableau outside her window while trying not to disturb the snow, so as to give her a happy winter wonderland to look at. But I did that because I had such a sweet, adorable sister who I wanted to be happy. As she got older, her selflessness spread to others. I would often hear her trying to do what she could to help her friends' relationships. She would try to mediate between friends that were having interpersonal conflicts, and she always had her friends' feelings ahead of her own. She was always aware of what was going on in their lives and always thinking of them. These are traits that were difficult for me to understand, but show my sister's giving, compassionate nature. I also didn't understand the TV she liked to watch. These were after-school drama types of shows about people and relationships and interactions. My sister, with her high emotional intelligence and sensitivity, loved to watch these shows that were somewhat foreign to me. They weren't cartoons about space. She was also a hopeless romantic, falling in love with the proverbial captain of the football team and starting soon into a loving relationship that focused on her dream of a perfect family. She poured so much love, devotion, and hope into her family. She produced 4 remarkable, unique daughters. With great compassion, she took in dogs and guinea pigs and had a house that was full of love and laughter and happiness. The family was so important to her. The family was everything. She loved her family with all of her heart. She wanted nothing more than to have a close family and to do everything she could to love and support them and to be surrounded by them. Although the noise could be a bit much for some of us visiting, she relished it because it was the sound of the life of her family. The love of her family extended to her extended family. She endeavored to maintain close bonds with grandparents and cousins and great-grandparents and in-laws. She encouraged the family to travel to see all these family members so that her children could maintain this rich network of connections that are important for forming a growing and balanced person. She extended her light and her love to so many people across her family. She created a network of people who felt loved and loved her back. Her strength was always on display here too, with her hellish routine of carting 4 kids around to various activities, or of homeschooling while juggling everything that was going on in the lives of the kids. She homeschooled 4 kids through elementary school, an extraordinarily daunting task. Where I really got to witness her strength was the grace and bravery with which she faced the cancer. Through the surgeries, the radiation, the chemo, and all of the various kinds of cancer treatments that she endured, she managed to maintain a positive mood, an optimistic outlook, determination, and a sense of humor. She was really the brave G.I. Joe of our youth come to life. The cancer never seemed to slow her down, never seemed to deter her. In fact, she sped up. She started an intensive running schedule and got in great shape, traveling to ascend various mountains as a champion of good health. She pushed more trips to see more parts of the country and the world and to bring her family with her. She kept up with friends and extended family. She started the cancer blog and a running blog on YouTube. Anyone who saw her and knew her had no doubts at all she would beat cancer. She knew that she would beat cancer and she lived her life accordingly. I think very fondly of my sister's sense of humor. During her first round of chemo, when she lost her hair, she knitted herself a beret that she would wear jauntily. We would go somewhere together, and then as she was leaving, she would climb up into the driver's seat of the Suburban, and with a flourish cast her hat onto the dashboard while flashing an annoying smile at me. She would wear the cancer as a badge of courage and would joke at her own expense about it. Every medic, nurse, and doctor she met throughout the whole process was instantly charmed by her. Everyone was rooting for her. While she was my playmate in youth, in recent years she was a friend with a great sense of humor. I spent many hours with her, either alone or with my family, or her family. Either alone or with her family or my mom and my dad, joking around and being silly and enjoying our time together. My mom and her would go to Almadel and talk and laugh and laugh. I cherish the memories of our time just having fun. One of my favorite memories of my sister was while we were on a trip to Flagstaff to see Ona to college. We had been laughing because of a memory with my mom, where I had been telling my mom to be careful when driving. I told my mom, watch out for that guy. And my mom had said, well, he better watch out for me. I was staying with my sister and family at a nice Airbnb in Flagstaff, and in the evenings had a craving for shakes from Sonic. I got in the car with my sister and we drove to Sonic together. There were so many college kids in the street, I couldn't help myself but say, watch out for them. And she would reply, you better watch out for me. We had this exchange multiple times during this car ride and we laughed every time. We went out the following nights with one or another of the girls and we kept laughing and joking. One night we went through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A with Angela. We were being so goofy that we really made the night of the person taking our order. Those were really fun nights and I got to have with my sister. I've had a lot of fun with my sister over the years. I will miss the laughter and the fun and the warmth and joy. I've been given the privilege of basking in her life. I haven't always been around to spend time with her. I lived in Wisconsin for about 10 years and I saw her only on occasion during that time. But there was comfort in knowing that her bright light was always lit. And there was a movie we liked as children called An American Tale about a Russian mouse that comes to America but gets separated from his family. My sister loved this movie and had brought it up again recently with sentimentality. So I like to think that this is another appropriate quote that she would approve of. There was a touching song in it, Somewhere Out There, where the mouse and his sister are singing to each other from separate parts of the world. And they sing, and even though I know how very far apart we are, it helps to think we might be wishing on the same bright star. At the end of July, I had a moment alone with my sister that demonstrated to me that her selfless nature and special light has helped her to find peace. She had been growing weaker, so she was in bed at the time. She was watching through the open upper door to the rest of her house. There she could see her family around the table getting ready for Emma's birthday meal. There was laughter and talking and smiles and warmth as everyone gathered around the table and served food. As she watched, she said, "That's the future." I didn't know what she meant. "What's the future? Where?" I asked. "That's the future in there," she motioned to the dining room table, "without me." When I heard that statement, at first I thought it was a lament of someone who was being left behind or forgotten. But I looked at her face and she had a big smile. She said, "That's my family. Look at them. Look how cute they are. Look how fun and happy they are together." Her statement about the future wasn't a sad thought, but a happy thought. She was happy because she was at peace with the future. She knew she had done everything she could to raise her family and to prepare them for the future. She knew that in the future her family would continue, and that they would go on to be a happy family together. It was such a sweet, selfless thought, and it showed to me that she had found peace with leaving her family at this time. She knew that she would be able to leave her family, and that they were going to be okay. She had given everything she had to give, and she had created this beautiful, special family that now had the love of their mother to carry with them forever. It comforts me to know she found this peace at the end. And even though we may no longer be wishing on the same star, this wisdom she attained suggests to me that she is the star. She is the light that bound all our lives together. We will continue to see her in the wonders around us and in the love we share. We are really so lucky to have had her in our life. We are lucky to have gotten the love to be one special. Such a singularly special person. Her light is shown on all of us, and we are better for it. Her light still shines in our hearts and our memories. We will carry the memories with us and hold her love in our hearts and remember. And her light will shine in our actions as we keep living and doing and pushing and loving just like she did.
Mom, I think that I pretty much said it all. And very beautifully. I do want to thank everyone for coming. So appreciate your presence here. I'm going to read a little bit as well. From the moment I first held Maríasol in my arms and looked into her beautiful face, I saw strength and determination. At that time, I had no idea just how much strength and determination she possessed. One of her friends described her as having a feisty spirit, a true, accurate assessment of her being, which I so cherish.
Her journey through cancer was ample evidence of her strength and determination as she went through multiple regimens of drugs. Never complained about pain or the many side effects she endured in her 12 years as she fought through this. A friend has always called her his hero for all she endured to be here for her family. Another friend called her a joyful warrior. She has taught me so much. Her intuitiveness, caring, and giving was amazing. She always thought of everyone else first, giving care and love, not just to her husband and daughters, but family, to everyone who crossed her path. She tried to take care of me, but as you can see, me sitting in this wheelchair was an impossible task. It was such a joy watching her grow, putting all of her everything into everything she did. Barking orders on the basketball court, her easy rolling on the soccer field when someone knocked her over, attending a summer business program for high school students in Philadelphia, another summer program in Texas. Soul approached everything she did with gusto, whether it was homeschooling her children, all in different grades, loving her husband and children, traveling, learning, shopping for books, running, reading books, you name it. Whatever my son and I did with her, she would make us laugh, making funny faces, rolling her eyes at us, mocking us. It was always tremendous fun. 2 years ago in May, she and I went to the rainforest in Olympic National Park and laughed through 4 amazing days. This year in May, I was blessed when she asked me to go to Bryce Canyon with her, something she had wanted to do for years. We had an amazing time. We hiked 11 miles up and down very steep areas in 2 days. She was amazing. 2 years ago in May, I already said that. I was missing her more than I can say. I am missing her more than I can say. Meanwhile, I am thankful for every moment I was able to be with her. She was one of a kind. She leaves an amazing legacy for her daughters.
So, obviously you all know my mom, and she was great, but I just wanted to share a story that I actually don't even remember that much, but when I was little, and I went to preschool, I was a very scared child. I didn't want to go. And my mom told me, if you go, I will be outside at recess every day. I'll wait outside by the fence so that you know that I'm there. And you'll be okay. So I went to preschool, obviously. I didn't really have a choice. But every single day of preschool, I would go up to the fence. And she would always be there. And she would always say hi to me. And then I would be okay. And I would go back to play. But that's the type of mom that she was. I was always scared, but she always believed me. And she told me that I could do it. I definitely would not be where I am today without her encouraging me and believing in me and pushing me to do more than I believed I could do. And I like to think now that she is, in a way, waiting on the other side of the fence, still encouraging me, still believing in me, and waiting for me to one day come see her.
You can see she is love. You know, in New Mexico, the soul, which was everyone's favorite nickname for her, is the sun. This is my son, but Maríasol is and will always be my son.
Well, I got all the stories out yesterday, so as best as gratitude. Gratitude she said yes. Gratitude for the time we had together. And gratitude for before. So please come here. No, I've lost. Okay. She will live on through all of you forever. To that, we have a symbol for each one of you. These were her rings that she wore. Our stone one for Angela. This has a stone for every one of you, and for Mom and I, of our first month. Yeah, I'll give you all thumbs here and make the package open. Here. Engagement ring. Eva. Yes, I need help. So. This is the one I gave her at 18 when she first went off to college. It turned into our engagement ring. For you. Okay. Should I even try? So this is the wedding band. You doing it? Guess I didn't eat the last song. Alright. And by faith, the last one out. I still can't help it. Easy, you get her solitaire band.
nice gold chain to put her his wig on to wear still.
Why don't you take us out?
So I thought, as a way to give my sister the last word, which I think she would appreciate, I was going to read her senior page. It's a message to posterity, and it's a snapshot from another point in her life. Because of the layout, I've made minor editorial decisions as to how it should go. And I was going to, there's a part of the end where she addresses her friends in high school, not all of whom she had just kept contact with. So at first I thought, well, and she also was a little silly in that, and I thought at first I wouldn't I'd move it further up, but I decided to leave it last, especially after last night. How I think, one common thing is how goofy she likes to be, and so I minimized my editorial decisions. So at the top of the page, she has a message. I love you, Daddy, Mama, and Don. Daddy, your sacrifices have been beyond what is humanly possible. Thank you for everything that you have done for me. And then under that, she has her first quote. My mother had a great deal of trouble with me, but I think she enjoyed it. Mark Twain. And then under a photo of Saul and Nathan together, she has the following two quotes. This is true love. Do you think this happens every day? The Princess Bride. Death cannot stop true love. It can only delay it for a while. The Princess Bride. And then, as I said, most of the rest of the page is quotes. Because I ain't moving from my face, from my race, from my history. Desiree. I was gratified to be able to answer promptly. I said, I don't know. Mark Twain. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. Desiree. The harmony of the universe depends upon an internal balance. Out of the struggle to maintain this balance comes the birth of legends. The movie Legend. We do not remember days, we remember moments. Cesare Pavese. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet a success unexpected in common hours. Henry Thoreau. Nothing is more magical. As long as unicorns roam the earth, evil can never harm the pure of heart. They express only love and laughter. Dark thoughts are unknown to them. Legend. If A is success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is keeping your mouth shut. Albert Einstein. Being not doing is my first joy. Theodore Rothke. The great pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. Walter Bagehot. Friendship is almost always the union part of one mind with part of another. People are friends in spots. George Santayana. I have not ceased being fearful, but I have ceased to let fear control me. Erica Jong. A slight touch of friendly malice and amusement towards those we love keeps our affections for them from turning flat. Logan Smith. Nobody can be exactly like me. Sometimes even I have trouble doing it. Tallulah Bankhead. It's all about soul. Billy Joel. And then her final message, as I mentioned, she's at the bottom of the page, it says, love you guys, Nate, Max, Tina, Mark, Justin, Erica, Baby, Danny, Jane, and of course Biff. Hi, I'm Biff.
Thank you everyone for those words. Oh my, I think that this presence of Maríasol at the gate, in the sky, in the sun, certainly will be with us forever and ever. In closing, let me say these words. Today, at this outer gate, we send off Maríasol Gutiérrez Roberts. By virtue of this, we have freed both ourselves and our departed loved one from all accumulated karma. And we're going to do a little ceremony here at the end. It's the last thing. And what this is I have a name card for Maríasol here. And I'm going to burn it in this urn. And what I'd like for us to keep in mind is that while we may change forms in the ordinary sense of living and dying, nothing ever disappears. No one ever disappears. Just changing form. And so we honor that change. And we support Maríasol in this passage. Really, she needs our support. So I'd like you all to chant together during this burning ritual. It goes like this. Om Viragi Jai Savaha. 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 And on the last page, this is Maríasol loved this particular teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'd like to have us listen to this poem, which is so beautiful, by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's called This Body Is Not Me. This body is not me. I am not limited by this body. I am life without boundaries. I have never been born and I have never died. Look at the ocean and the sky filled with stars, manifestations from my wondrous true mind. Since before time I have been free. Birth and death are only doors through which we pass, sacred thresholds on our journey. Birth and death are a game of hide and seek. So laugh with me, hold my hand. Let us say goodbye. Say goodbye to meet again. Soon. We meet today. We will meet again tomorrow. We will meet at the source every moment. We meet each other in all forms of life. So finally, last thing is that we will recite the 4 great Buddhist vows together, if you like. Sentient
beings are numberless. We vow to awaken as one. Mistaken views are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. we vow to embody them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable.
We vow to attain it. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for helping Maríasol on her journey. This is a huge help for her and of course for you. I would like to invite you to join everyone together for in the meeting room back there. There are some drinks available, some refreshments, and feel comfortable to take a little walk around the grounds. I know it's gotten hot in here, but it's probably a little bit cooler out there. Thank you so much.